Good evening, everyone. My name is JWinder, and we are going to take a look at communicating and advocating for school and community needs. First, we're going to take a look at some different district board policies on cultural diversity and multiculturalism. The closest thing I could find from our district was our non-discrimination statement. It is the policy of Riverside USD 114 not to discriminate on the basis of race, color, national origin, sex, disability, religion, creed, age, marital status, and socioeconomic status in its educational programs, including career and technical education programs, and its employment practices, and provides equal access to the Scouts and other designated youth groups. So this is the closest thing I could find in our district from our board policies about diversity at all. So what I did is I went on down the road to several schools that are close to us, and I looked up their district policies. Down the road, a few minutes in Troy, USD 429, policies on cultural diversity and multiculturalism. When I was searching their website, there was no policy posted. Reason for this, I believe, I think like many schools, they have some type of policy, it's just not posted on their website publicly. Then I moved on down the road a little further to Doniphan West, USD 111, and looked for their policies on cultural diversity and multiculturalism. Again, there was no policy posted. Most likely the same thing. Their policy has not been posted publicly. I went a little bit further down the road on 36 Highway, and I looked up any policies on cultural diversity and multiculturalism at Hiawatha, USD 415. Searching and searching, I could find no policy on cultural diversity, multiculturalism, or how they communicate with families of diverse groups. Again, I think that this is something that is just not posted publicly on their website. So after striking out a few times, I searched and searched, and the closest thing I could find was Chicago Public Schools policies on diversity and multiculturalism. The Board of Education of the City of Chicago acknowledges that cultural identity is inseparable from language and encourages all staff to respect the language of each student. The board also recognizes a critical need to incorporate a focus on multiculturalism and diversity in the total school environment, which includes meeting the access needs of students with disabilities and centering on all features of the school culture. The City of Chicago Board of Education also believes strongly that staff recruitment and in-service training must actively aid diversification and appreciation of the cultural pluralism of our school system. They also assert that all students and staff are entitled to work or learn in a climate free from discrimination. And lastly, the Board of Education of the City of Chicago invites all local councils, parents, and community-based partners to participate and partner with them in this responsibility. I found that this was pretty helpful. This was a little more of what I was looking for on diversity and multiculturalism. I believe that all of those other schools that I looked at, they have something to this effect. It's just not posted online. Now we're going to take a look at communicating with families with diverse backgrounds and the importance of communicating with them. I think it's very important that all of our districts do this. They provide some type of professional development and help teachers know how to communicate with these diverse groups of people. So according to the research, one of the most important things, if not the most important thing, is to build a trusted relationship. Communication, conversation, and relationships are the underpinnings of strong family-school partnerships. If families are to trust teachers and other staff members, they must first know that you are qualified, fair, dependable, and have their child's best interests at heart. I think this is super important. This is something that I kind of hang my hat on with what I do in our school district. I think that if parents know that you have their kids' best interest at heart, they ultimately trust you, and the relationship is just so much stronger if they know that. Lastly, our work should begin by finding ways to learn about and from the families of our students and communities in which we teach. Again, I think the closer we know them, the better off and more effective the relationship is. And then I also think the more effective you're going to be with helping their student learn. I think if their student knows that you have that type of relationship with their family, I think that they're going to work that much harder for you. So building a trusted relationship is very important, and I think is goal number one. Next, we're going to take a look at some effective ways of communicating with these diverse groups of people. I think it's very important to keep it simple, to be an active listener. I think that you can't just be the only one talking all the time. You need to be able to listen to people. 3, take turns talking. Again, like I said, they need to know that you're interested in what they have to say as well. 4, maintain etiquette. And 5, be supportive. I think that kind of goes back to that trusted relationship, and supporting them in any way possible. Next, I think face-to-face conversations are important, effective way of communicating. 2, phone calls, very easy way to communicate with parents. 3, daily notes. And 4, emails. So you kind of have to find what works best for each family. And I think that goes along right back to what I said about building a relationship. I think the better you get to know that person, the better you understand them and how they would like to communicate with you. And then lastly, automated alerts to parents about missed assignments, grades, and absences. This is something that I'm not sure that every school has, but according to research, I think it was a beneficial thing to do. Next, communicating digitally. This seems to be something that is really taken off. I mean, it's 2022, and I think that everybody has some sort of device that they can communicate with, and I think all of these communication type apps are great ways to do that. So these simple communication apps like Class Dojo, Seesaw, Remind, and Spotlight allow educators to send mobile text, video summaries, and other alerts to parents about school activities or their child's recent behavioral or academic process. These app-based forms of communication are giving parents a deeper look into their children's performance and experience in the classroom, while forming tighter relationships between schools and families. I can speak personally about Class Dojo. That is something that we use in our pre-K through 5 for sure. It is a great tool, a great app. I can instantly message a parent. It's similar to text messaging. I click on a class, I click on message, and I click on then name of the parent or the student I need to speak about. I can instantly text them through the Class Dojo app and let them know, hey, so and so had an accident today in physical education. They tripped and fell. Just wanted you to be aware, wanted you to be able to keep an eye on them tonight. And instantly I can get a message back from them. Thank you so much for letting me know. There are multiple other things. There are behavior type features on there. There are ways where you can share what you're doing in class. You can take a photo. You can share like almost kind of like a Facebook type post about something that may be going on in your classroom. So just a super cool app. It's been really beneficial to our district, and a lot of teachers use it in a positive way. So I think communicating digitally is something that is very important, and it is a way for us to communicate with these diverse groups. Lastly, making connections with diverse families. I think it goes back to what I talked about earlier about building relationships. I think once we've got that relationship built, these are kind of things that can help us kind of foster that relationship and build them up. So first, I think we need to develop a district family engagement team. Next, we can connect with these groups of people at back to school night, community building activities, as well as other different various family events, um, parent guardian education programs, family service and engagement projects that we can do with them, and then connecting with community organizations. So I think the most important thing, obviously, for me is building a trusted relationship with these groups. I think that is, to me, rule number one. These people need to know that you care about them. They need to know that you care about their student and what is best for them. And then you're going to work for that student, and you're going to be fair with that student. You're going to care for them in any way possible. And then I think that once those people know that, you're off on the right foot. And then after that, you just need to continue strengthening that relationship and communicating with those people daily, weekly, and then continuing to make connections with them at community building activities like our back to school night or donuts with dad or muffins with mom or whatever it may be. So I think that building a trusted relationship and then continuing constant communication with them and continuing to make connections with them um, any way possible. So I think that's very important for us as educators. Here are my resources. Thank you so much for listening. Take care.